His words didn't come in anger. That would have been easier. They came casually, between sips of beer, like stating the weather. "You're always the embarrassment." A few people laughed. Some looked away. I didn't. I just took another drink and kept my face still. On the outside, I was quiet. On the inside, something locked into place. Growing up, my father had two settings with me: silence or criticism. I was never enough. Too shy, too loud, too awkward, too weird for this family. It didn't start out cruel. When I was little, he'd make jokes about me being the odd one out. But by the time I was a teenager, the jokes had teeth. Family gatherings became stages for my humiliation. I learned early that I could never win his approval, so I stopped trying. But here's the thing about being underestimated your whole life. You learn to move in silence. You learn to build without applause. After college, I worked 3 jobs at once. Small apartment, cheap food, every dime went into savings. He called me reckless, irresponsible, said I'd never last without his guidance. I didn't argue, I just kept going. Promotions, better pay, investments that multiplied while he was busy talking about his glory days. By the time I was 31, I had enough to buy the kind of house I used to dream about when I was a kid, lying in a room with peeling paint. The day I closed on it, I walked through empty rooms with sunlight spilling across polished floors. No one had given me this. No one had helped. It was mine. And that's when I decided exactly how they'd find out. The plan came together fast. I'd throw a housewarming party. Not small, a full event. Catered food, live music, a guest list packed with friends, colleagues, neighbors, everyone except my family. No calls, no invites, not even a by the way. I hired a photographer, the kind who could make a glass of champagne look like a magazine cover. Told them to capture everything: laughter spilling from the balcony, clinking glasses in my kitchen, people lounging by the pool as the sun went down. The night of the party, the place glowed. My friends wandered the halls in awe, complimenting the art on the walls, the view from the upstairs balcony. I laughed easily that night. Not the polite, measured laugh I used at family events, but the real kind, the kind that came from a place untouched by their words. The next morning, I posted the album on Instagram. Every shot perfect. Every caption casual. "Last night was unforgettable. Here's to new beginnings." The comments rolled in. "This is gorgeous. How did I not know you had a pool? You've made it, my friend." Then the ones I was waiting for, not from my family, but from people they knew. "Can't believe I missed this. Did your parents come? Your dad must be so proud." It took less than 2 hours for the first text from my sister. "You bought a house?" 5 minutes later, "Why didn't you tell anyone?" I didn't reply. Then my aunt called. "Your dad just saw your Instagram. He's upset." Upset, like I'd stolen something from him. By evening, my father broke the silence. His text was short. "So this is how you treat family?" I typed slowly. "You're always the embarrassment, remember? Didn't want to risk you embarrassing me in my own home." I hit send. No emoji, no softening. The fallout was better than I'd imagined. Relatives chimed in on the post, tagging each other, clearly fishing for explanations. Friends of friends commented things like, "Guess family isn't as close as it looks." Little sparks tossed onto dry grass. Within days, it was obvious they hated that everyone saw what they hadn't been invited to. My father stopped posting his usual photos of backyard barbecues and fishing trips. My sister went on a spree of inspirational quotes about forgiveness. Forgiveness? For what I'd done, not for what they'd done to me for years. Here's the truth they'd never say out loud. They liked having me small, easy to mock, easy to ignore. The sight of me thriving without them, of me choosing not to share it, was the real wound. Weeks later, a cousin called to check in. Really, she wanted the story. I kept my voice light. "Oh, it was just a small thing with friends. You know, the people who actually support me. She didn't call again. Sometimes revenge isn't fire and fury. Sometimes it's building a life they can't touch, then locking the door. And sometimes it's making sure the whole world sees who's on the inside and who isn't. They'll tell themselves I was petty, that I overreacted to a harmless comment. But I remember every smirk, every public jab, every time they made me the punchline. I remember the burn in my face when strangers laughed at my expense. This was just me setting the record straight. Now, when I walk through my house, there's a particular joy in knowing they've only seen it through a screen. They've scrolled past the photos